Okay, what we'll look at today is the Service Manager Control Panel Query Selector. So we're going to do this little unedited, quick and dirty video. Just explain the basics of this tool. And what this is a kind of a report writer where you can build your own reports against all the data in the system and link tables and so on. So if you want to see invoices that are overdue or invoices that are almost overdue, or purchase orders in the last month, or purchase orders for items with a certain description, or sales orders that are with items with a certain description, just about anything you can imagine. It uses the SQL database query language, common syntax, and we've listed several sample queries, and also we can help with them anytime. But I'm going to show you just real briefly how this works. I'm going to skip these links for right now, and we're going to look at those in another query. But here I've got a query that I've built that shows me the turnaround time for a range of items. So I'm going to give it that title. That's my query. It's going to be called Turnaround Time for a Range of Items. I'm going to spell it in English. I have options to export. If I don't export, I'll see the query on the screen. I'll see the results on the screen. I have an option to export as a comma delimited file, which is a common spreadsheet type format or word processor. You can open it in Excel and things like that. Or I can export, or I can download it as an HTML file, a web page that I can then take and email to people. I have a couple formatting options. I can display borders around the fields, and here I can check this to make every other row get a shaded background. I can change the font size, and here I have an option to total numeric fields at the bottom. I don't need them for this report, but if I check that, that's what I'll get. So I've got my query set up. I'm going to paste it in here, and I'm going to hit the submit button. I've got a couple prompts built into my query. You can build as many prompts as you want for date ranges, customer numbers, things like that, whatever you might want for your particular report. In this case, I want all the items that start with RSD, and I'm going to ask for everything with an invoice date since the beginning of this year. So I click my button, I get my query. Here's my list, here's my results down here for my query. You notice the links on the screen. Each of these links drills down into further data. Now these links are secure, so if I email this query to someone, this link won't work for them. This link has credentials, or session credentials embedded in it, so that it only works for me. So that's a security thing. Of course, you can send people this list if you want, but it doesn't give them the ability to drill down into the data. But for me here, I can drill down into the data. If I click this link to the item, I'll get item information. I get a screen full of item information, including purchase order history for the item, transaction history for the item, sales order history for the item, descriptions of the item, locations, quantities, costs, just everything imaginable on the item, statistics for sales. Here, if I want to see the actual invoice, this link takes me to my invoice. I can see it on the screen. And here, for example, if I click this, well, we'll click this link. This takes me to the order information, the sales order information. Now, I always recommend control click, because that leaves the query on the screen and just opens a second tab with this information. So I'm going to hold my control key down. I'm going to click on this link, and I see this order over in this other tab. I can take a look at all the information on the order. From here I can go to edit the order. I can look at the details. I can look at the billing summary for the order. I can look at associated documents in the document management system, and so on. So when I close this link, I'm back to my query, and I can go on and look at other items in the query. So we're going to take a look in a minute at saving and deleting queries, reusing them. But for right now, that's all we want to do on this one video. It's a brief explanation of the control panel query system.